Well, hello everyone. This is going to be a mega tour of my train basement. I have been doing a lot of work on this back burner. It's been quite a challenge, and I've been changing my plans a lot. And I think I've settled on something, but it's probably not going to be settled proper, like fully settled as the overall plan. But let's see what I have right now and maybe talk about the future throughout the video. All right, so let's start with this section. This is my CP yard that I call the yard where I put away my CP rail stuff when I have the other yard for CN. This is most likely going to change. I'm probably going to completely move this layout, still in this corner, but not in this exact shape, so I can have a two-level layout, but also a runaround. I'm gonna use the old platform that I was building over there at my last place for this layout here, and this is the CN yard with all the greenery and stuff that was done at the previous house was moved successfully without too much damage. So this is going to be uh, modified, as in this is going to be pulled out. There's going to be a loop behind it on the top, and it's going to connect through this side. The layout's also going to move that way because I need space on that side for something else. So this is the N scale part. We're just going to see the train a bit more, and then we're going to move on to the next layout, which is going to be the HO scale layout. Don't don't mind the mess. This mess is temporary. I am working on everything, so there's going to be mess on every layout. At least there's this unfinished city, and then this part that's quite nicer. Well, I think it's quite nicer. You might notice some new cars in the train as well. I thought I might mention it. I There's a new shop that opened nearest ish to me, and I went there to visit and I bought some stuff. A few of the things I bought from my haul is this Procore car, this huge tank car. Thought it was pretty neat. There's also a few more cars hidden on the layout that are new. Let's see if some people spot them during the tour. But yeah, there's going to be some new stuff in N scale and some new stuff in HO scale. Some stuff is not on the layout, actually on the layout either, but there are some stuff on the layout from that purchase. Well, from that visit at the hobby shop. Uh, all right, so now that the train's coming back in the yard, we're gonna stop it and move on to the next layout. Alright, my next layout is my HO scale layout. You can see the other N scale layout in the back. We're going to talk about that later. This, I've done a lot more progress on this than anything else. This is what I've been mostly working on. This has also new stuff. That engine is from that haul. And also the caboose over there. And that little box car, the 40-foot high cube box car. I never saw them ever. I didn't know they existed. Then Dave at Scott's Rail had one, received one, and it happened that I found this one at a hobby shop for very cheap. It was used, but it was new old stock at that point. It wasn't used at all. Whoever had it left it in its boxes its entire life. So and that engine was used and also had signs of wear slightly, but nothing bad. It was just it's been run. It's in perfect condition as well. There's also this new engine that's an eBay score that was listed as new old stock. It's not new old stock. It's used, but in such good condition that it's perfectly fine. So that's the new stuff for rolling stock. For the actual layout, The track here has not changed since the last two live stream for the slot car, which I'm quite happy with. The only thing I've changed is I've raised the helix here and at the back there so that trucks can actually drive through it now. So that's quite nice. I'm very much enjoying it. The track, I've done a lot of track work. This from this switch to the other side where the bridge is, that's all laid and pretty much settled there. Not entirely settled, but pretty much settled. There's only a few places where I need to do some little adjustments, like this curve, the outside curve here, but the inside of the curve and the back of the curve is completely fine. I tried to have my trains as close to each other as possible to be realistic without being problematic, where it can still turn without touching each other. They get really close, but they don't hit. Like really close, but they don't hit. So, and from this point on, that's perfectly fine. And I think it looks great and works great. We're gonna go to the other side of the layout. Be back in a sec. Alright, so we're on the other side. You can see here the curve I was talking about. This one is a lot smoother and works great. This is a piece of flex track, a single piece from this point to the switch, which makes it run even smoother and has even less electrical problems, which so far I've been lucky, not have much, but still I don't want to jinx it, so I'm just saying not as much and not at all. I got this switch at the train show, not the train show, the hobby shop. I needed a number 6. They had those used, but this one was like new, nickel silver track and everything, so $7 for it. I had this motor laying around, which is not a motor, it's a manual switch, works perfectly fine. And that S-bend here, well, the S-bend of train merging is, to me, looks incredible. It's such a smooth and natural and realistic point that I really like. This is one of my favorite rail fanning spots, so I'll just let the train speak for itself. There you go. So yeah, it just looks really nice. It's kind of a mess, kind of not, as in it's not a full mess where it's all pieces everywhere, but there's some junk there. There's some track here. A lot of my rolling stock is on the table. There's some trucks and trailers and tractors just for decoration. There's this little fountain that just works. It's nice. It adds some life to the layout. So far that's been quite a fun experience, and of course I'm still gonna keep on working on this. This is why I want to change a lot. I want to extend this that way and make an L shape where it's gonna be there's gonna be a grade and everything. A yard at the bottom is gonna be quite a big and nice layout. But for now, since I don't have all the wood and all the track and everything to build this, I'm focusing on the section I have and making this closer to what I want as a goal. So then when I'm done with this, I'll be able to build the extension over there. So that's the idea. So now we're going to move on to the last layout, the little N scale layout. Alright, so last but not least, here's my tiny 2x4 N scale layout. It's my downsized version of the Scenic Ridge, which is a very nice and fun layout that's been designed quite a few years ago and it's been very popular amongst modelers in general, but especially N-scalers, because they fit on, usually it's a hollow core door, which is slightly bigger than this, so you can fit a bit more. I wanted to fit on a 2x4, see what I could do. Of course, there's some limitation, like I needed to use 9 3/4 inch curves. There's also no space for spurs other than this one, but I think it looks quite nice. If your whole point is to do some rail fanning, watching your trains go into scenery, I was able to cram a lot of types of scenery. Like I have this mountain section with a crack, but also a tunnel that comes in and out. It also cuts the view so that it feels like there's a new train every lap, so that's nice. There's a grade, which is a 4% grade. It's a pretty steep grade, but it limits the length of the train that you can put on the layout, making it trains that feel realistically sized for your actual layout. Being a small layout like this, you don't want a long train, a super long train. This is the longest I would ever run on this, which is I think 11 cars and 2 engines, and it needed the 2 engines to go up that 4% grade. It's about 6 car max for freight, and well, maybe 7 car with a good engine, and 5 car for passenger to go up that grade. But with the details that you can add, it makes it for a really living, life full of an area full of life, right? A layout full of life. So let's slow it down a bit, and let's just look at the train. Right here, it went through the mountain. I think it looks great. Across the bridge, over just a valley like this, where there's another track, which is itself, but it doesn't seem like it. It goes around a city where I put a lot of detail, like with the cars. There's people walking around. There's a park where people can just relax and look at the water, look at the train. There's a hot dog stand. There's a little farm with some people went cow tipping and horse tipping, but there's definitely some animals. There's a grain elevator with a harvester. There's one of my first buildings I've ever built with which is a cabin in the wood, a pretty big one with a big SUV to go there. Like I said, there's a tunnel. There's a lot of greenery. There's a lot of life, and I think it really fills the layout. And being a folded dog bone as a track plan, it gives a lot more run time before the lap completes, even though it comes back around multiple times and goes like it's back and forth on each side of the layout often. At least on that exact spot, it takes a lot longer to come back to that spot, right? It really is something I can enjoy to just rail fan. It's just pretty neat. I've done some little tricks, like here the bush with the flowers. Well, the flowers are just a little piece of green styrofoam that I chipped off, and it looks like flowers in it. There's some quick and easy tricks like this that you can do. These lights are just a cheap set of lights from the dollar store that they had. It's battery powered. You just put rechargeable battery in it, and it just works. You insert them in the buildings, and it lights up the building. I think it looks nice. It fills the area. It gives the impression of having lamp posts. I know right now it goes out the back through the track. It's not underneath, but that way it makes it removable. All the buildings are removable in the details, so I can bring the layouts at places. Being 2x4, I brought it to a show at once for an exposition. It's just a really nice layout, and it's quite fun to run. I've also done a live stream where it was putting back the buildings on it, and I quite enjoyed it. So so that was the whole update. I know there's a lot of camera movement. I'm sorry for you guys that don't like it as much. I was just trying to show everything. I'm gonna do one last time a big wraparound to show the whole room with all the layouts, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Give me hints, ideas of what you want me to see. There's a video coming up on how to add lights to the slot cars. That's in the queue for a while. I have cars to do and everything, so it's really just me making the time and editing this that's going to take some time, but at least that's the next video. But after that, what do you guys want to see? Also, tune in to my Monday live stream. I call it the Mainline Monday. Sometimes it's running the HO slot cars with the HO train. Sometimes it's working on or running some of my N scale stuff. It depends on what's happening, what people want to see. Sometimes I have requests. Sometimes it's just me who needs to do something. So I do it on the live stream, so it's more fun for both me and the viewer. So it's really up to you guys. All right, I'm gonna do a last wrap around and then let you go.